Well, Deirdre, it's really interesting. We hear a lot about heart disease, right? The biggest killer in America. We hear a lot about the cost associated with treating cancer, but we haven't heard a lot yet about dementia. And now, almost silently, it has become the most expensive disease in America to treat. But I want to show you these new numbers, the most rigorous study to date published this week in the New England Journal of Medicine. The figures are shocking. More than $100 billion on care of patients who have Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Deirdre, that's more than we spend on heart disease or cancer. The cost could hit $260 billion by 2040, an astounding run-up, really. The increase, not surprisingly, driven by demographics. According to the Alzheimer's Association, 5 million Americans, or about 14% of the population over the age of 70, suffer from the disease, but that number is set to double by 2050. And one analyst pointed out to me, Deirdre, 8,000 Americans are turning 65 every day.
Yeah, so what is being done about this? I mean, what's been the government's response and what's Big Pharma's response?
Well, the good news for pharma companies is that the government is preparing to actually spend big in all these times of austerity. And that should help private companies like Eli Lilly, Roche, and Pfizer to develop the next generation of drugs. The big push from the president, well, it's nicknamed BRAIN. It's a $100 million initiative intended to unlock the mysteries of how the brain works. Obama's calling it the most important federal research since the Human Genome Project, which the White House also says returned $140 to the economy for every dollar that was invested. A pretty good deal. So the so-called BRAIN project will be led by the National Institutes of Health. It will involve private companies and private research institutes, such as the Allen Institute, funded by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. They actually produced this video simulation I want to show you. There you see it, a brain on ice. Ultimately, the goal is to better understand how the brain actually functions, to find new treatments for all sorts of neurological conditions. I spoke to one scientist at Eli Lilly who noted that the industry and the market opportunity is a lot bigger than just Alzheimer's. For example, this could lead to new drugs for psychological conditions such as depression, which affects some 15 million Americans, or chronic pain, which affects 100 million Americans at some point in their lives. And Deirdre, that scientist also gave me a very helpful analogy. He said, think of the brain like a car. You need to understand how it actually works before you know how to fix it. Back to you.